Hello.
Hello, how are
I'm
you?
good. How are you? How was your holiday?
Good, very good. Just weird being in Scotland with it. Like, I've got back today and the temperature difference is crazy. It's so hot.
Yeah, it's
But
roasting.
I've literally been wearing coats and stuff.
I
So
can't imagine it. It's so weird.
it's so weird. It's so weird. I'm absolutely boiling.
Yeah, I think it's
But yeah,
36
John and the
today,
girls are
isn't
still
it?
up there. And I spoke to them this morning and he was like, oh, it's probably like 18, 19. So it's a huge
Yeah,
difference.
that's double. It's 36 here.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah. But yeah, it's been a nice break.
Yeah,
Good to be
good
back.
to have you back. We've missed you. We've missed you so much. So, no, good to have you back. And we can get back to it. It's been real, isn't
Yeah,
it?
and I'm proud of us not missing
I
a
know.
week. I thought we might have to miss one because I was basically camping, but no,
We
it's well
managed
done
it.
us.
Today is your Ayahuasca retreat number 2. So we've done 1 and now
Yep.
we're on to number 2. And then I think number
Yes.
5 will then be where I come in as well. Is that right?
Yes, so we were together on my 5th one. So yes, you'll do the first ceremony 5.
Perfect.
But yeah, we've done the preparation one as well. So maybe if you've not seen the previous ones, you can go back and watch those because we've done like a series, haven't we, on YouTube?
Yeah, that's it, exactly. So how long was it between, because I think last time you said it was quite quick that you got back and you were almost like, okay, I need to go again because it brought up the spirituality stuff, but you still didn't feel like it had quite got to the healing, which is why you went. It was more for therapy, wasn't it? And
Yeah.
then you felt that you just needed to do it again.
Yeah, so I went, I think I said in the last one, I was laughing about the fact that I thought I could just do one and that would be it. And because I was going for it for kind of like a therapy and they say, oh, it's like 20 years of therapy in 1 cup, I just thought, just have one and that'll be it. But also, like we said before, it does give you what you need, not necessarily what you want.
Yeah.
So yeah, the first one was perfect for me and I got a lot out of it and it was amazing. But it definitely did feel like an introduction. I feel like that is what it is for a lot of people. So then I actually went back. There was one the following month. And so I just did, again, just one night, literally a month later, because I just felt, again, like we said in the last one, you get that kind of calling to do it. And I just felt in me that I was like, no, I need to go again. And I think a lot of people do these retreats where you do like 3 in a row or sometimes even 5.
Yeah, like night
over
after.
like a week.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Which I don't think I'd want to do, just knowing how like it takes it out of me after. But so yeah, I didn't feel like it was too much because I know a lot of people do, like I said, 3 in a row or whatever. So yeah, I went back the next month for the second ceremony, which was completely different. And in the first one, my intention was show me what I need to see. But then I have like, I say, show me what we need to see, drink it. And then I kind of go over a few things I want to get into in my mind. And this one, to be more specific, I was like, show me how to heal. That's what I wanted. That's kind of what I went into it with.
Right.
So shall I just get into what happened on this one?
Yeah. So was there did you recognise anyone there? Was it still quite a small group? I know the first one, it was quite a small group of newcomers, wasn't it?
Yeah. So my first one was 4 people and it was all our first time. The month after, 3 of us that were there from the first one, if that makes sense. So there was only 1 person from that first one that didn't go back the next month.
Right.
And then, but it was a slightly bigger group. I'd say it was like 8 or 9 people. Right. So still a good amount. And there was some people whose first time it was. And then there was also some people who'd done it 6 or 7 times. Right. So it was another really good group. So yeah, drank the cup and I don't know, I just kind of assumed it would be the same kind of thing as the first time, but it was quite different, like going into it, because the girl next to me, it was her first time and I think she was struggling a little bit at the beginning and she was like, oh no, I don't like this. And she was being quite vocal and I think it took long. I did think, by this time, the last one, I think I was further into it. But how I knew things, I started to get like, again, the black swirling, but then what she was saying, so she was talking to the healer lady, their voices suddenly got thrown to the other side of the room. So I knew they were speaking there, but then all of a sudden, like that sound distortion that happened really quickly. And it was like their voices were over there. And I was like, oh, okay, that's different. But I was still in the room. I still hadn't kind of think I said in the first one, the sound was everywhere within the realm I was in. It was almost like it goes through you. So it was like that was starting to happen, but I wasn't fully there yet. And I hadn't had any real intense visuals or anything. But the first thing that happened was that it felt like the first one where I had the spirit guide to the side of me, I sensed something to the side of me, but I wasn't fully in the realm yet, if that's the only way I can describe it. It was like I was still in the room. So it was very much like this very strong presence here, but I panicked a little bit because I thought, oh, hang on a minute, because it almost felt, it was like they were actually, it felt like they were right on my bed. It's the only way I could describe it. Which scared me a little bit because I used to get sleep paralysis. And I think I've spoken about that in one where it felt like that kind of feeling of a presence. But this wasn't really a negative feeling. It was just I felt a bit scared because I was like, oh my God, what is going on? Because the last time when I had the spirit guide, it made more sense because I wasn't in the reality of the room. But this, I was like, oh God, I'm still in the room. And then it was like, felt like someone was on the bed and it felt like it came over and I went like this. And then it just said, I am always with you. But it was like a real powerful, I am always with you. And then I was like, oh, I don't like it.
Did it feel like a male or female or did?
So it was to the male side. So like all the male spirits or whoever I'm communicating with, males are always to the right, females are always to the left. But this wasn't female or male. They were to the right side. But the feeling, I can't really describe it, but you almost get like a sense of whether they're masculine or feminine. And it was completely neutral. Right. And that was also the feeling about it. Even though I felt scared, it wasn't like it was a horrible presence. It was just a real powerful message. It's kind of difficult to explain. But then that went away. The sound was still strange. And then I kind of was almost like seeing like a tunnel, like I was being shot through a tunnel then of kind of just kind of like a black tunnel, like sparkly lights, but just going so fast. And then that's when I was like, right, I'm in this time. So it was different to last time where I had to follow the mermaid. Yeah. It was kind of like I was shot into it after this experience with whoever that was on my bed. Yeah. But I'll say about that now, like the next day I was like a bit like, what was that? And you'll know, like after the ceremony, it kind of things stick with you, don't they, for like a week or so after. I sometimes get like kind of like messaging coming through or whatever. And I was in the shower the next day and I said, what was that? And I kind of got a message back quite clear. It was like it said what you would call a guardian angel. God. Which I thought was weird wording because also, again, I'm not religious. So it's not like I don't believe in, I don't know what I believe in, but it just, and the wording was weird, like what you would call a guardian angel, as in like, oh, that's not actually what it is, but you've got, I don't know.
And call us, yeah.
Yeah. And so, and it was just weird. It said, I'm always with you. And it was so strong. So I kind of do think now, well, we do have some kind of, it was as real as if like I was right next to you and I leant over and said it was like that. But again, I never see them. I just
feel their presence.
Feel their presence. So now I do think, I'm always with you. It's like, but it's quite a nice thing, even though I was scared at the time. It was more just that it was intense because I still felt I was in the room. Yeah. But it is nice to think maybe we do have, guardian angels or someone looking out for us.
Yeah, definitely.
All the time. So yeah, that was that. Then I was shot through the tunnel and I was then in the realm. And then this one kind of followed on from the last one where I think I was saying it was kind of talking a bit about control and how you got to let go and surrender and all of that kind of thing. And then this one, really the main theme was control. That was like the main part. It was so strong. It was almost like, we kind of started going on about it in the last one, but now we've got to get that out of you. Right. And I saw this one, the visions were really, really intense. And it was almost like these cogs going round. Then it was almost like I was being laughed at, like the cogs are whirring. Is she going to get it? Kind of thing. And then as soon as I was like, oh, it's control, it was like clicked into place. And it was like, oh, she's got it. And then it was almost like there were these like beings, or I don't even know. They were kind of like part of the patterns were kind of like almost speaking to me. And they were like, oh, it was like one was like peering over me almost and was like, oh, there's a lot in this one. And with that, it was like literally just like ripping almost like all the control out of me.
Wow.
And the whole thing was like, you need to completely, you can't control this.
Yeah.
Basically. And I think a lot of people get that in the first, however many it takes you to be like, okay.
Yeah, I surrender.
I surrender. Yeah. But it was just funny how they were like, oh, there's a lot in this one. It was almost like I could feel it all coming out of me.
Was it a good feeling?
And I was like, okay, no, it was awful. No, it was horrible. Not in a physical way, but in a just a like, it was kind of showing me every way I try and control my life. And then every thought I had, like, God, this is awful. It was like control. I was like, well, what time is it? And I remember trying to look around for a clock to be like, oh, how long's left? Oh God. And then I was thinking, oh my God, when is this going to be over? I wonder how long it's been. Like every single thought I had like that, they were like, you're doing it again, control. And it was just like the most uncomfortable feeling in the world. I was really, really sick. And then every time I thought I'd got it all out of me, they were like, oh no, you're still trying to control the outcome. Like I couldn't even have a single thought. It was just showing, and I was like, okay, I completely hand this over to you. And I was really sick, but then that was the end of that. And I've only had snippets of it since then in other ones I've done. If I've tried to talk back or control or whatever, it will kind of remind me. I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm doing that again. But generally, it's like,
so it's made you more aware.
And I think I think it has to get that out of you, because otherwise you will try and control it and be like, oh, I'll just wait for this to finish or whatever. You have to just completely let go, like we said, which is harder said than done. But this one made that really clear. So that was that. And I've written here, it said to me, what is. So like, it made sense at the time, but it is what it is kind of thing. You can't control everything. We just said what is, and it's just like, okay. And I think we all do it, don't we? We try and control everything and other people, and you can't control other people and expect things from other people. It was kind of like all that kind of messaging, like, and then there was a whole thing about how I need to speak my authentic truth and say what I need and want, because it was showing me that I do feel like I'm doing that now and like doing this, but also just like speaking up for myself if something not saying has annoyed me, but like, I think I'd let people walk all over me before and just be like, oh, it's okay, just basically showing me that I'm a massive people pleaser or have been. I definitely think I am changing that now because of this, but it was just showing me that it's okay to say what you want, which is good. And then I like really cried after that one, and it was kind of like releasing all the times I've not said what I want, which I thought was good. And then because my intention was showing me how to heal, this is when it was like, right, we're going to get into this now. So I thought again, I was like, oh, this is going to go into certain life events, but it didn't. What's interesting is it showed me, it was like it said like humans as well. This was another time where it kind of used that word, which always freaks me out. But it was like, create your own trauma by holding on to stories from the past. So, and it kind of showed me that, different people that's why different people come out of different situations in different ways. So like something bad could happen and one person might end up thriving in life, and then the other person will not, or go the other way because and it was showing me that it's just like you just retell the story over and over and over again until it becomes your story. So I've just written, we create our own trauma by creating stories about events and retelling them, and then we make the stories into our identity. If you can let the past go, you release the trauma. And it said to me that like, I've created sadness in my own life by holding on to the stories, and that's it. And it was so clear. And then there was this bit where it was like, okay, now we're going to release all that sadness you've held on to. And I was just like crying. And it was just like, it was really obviously sad, but it was like amazing afterwards. You're like, oh my God.
Yeah, get it all out.
But in subsequent ones, it's actually gone into different things. But I feel like I needed to learn that lesson first, because otherwise I would have gone into the different things I wanted to get into. And I still wouldn't have known that, and would still thought, whereas then in the later ceremony, I thought, oh yeah, but I have held on to all these things, so I didn't need to.
Yeah, that's so true. What you just read out, it's just so, when you hear it like that, it is so true, isn't it? We just tell ourselves.
Because that is true, isn't it? Some people go through like all sorts of things as kids, but then really thrive, and they're like, oh, I'm not holding on to that. And then it really showed me that maybe that is what I've done. I mean it, or I kind of kept it all in, but I thought, well, I've got to deal with that, whatever. And it's like, well, actually, you can look at it a different way. And like we've said in a previous one, that when we learn that kind of everything is like a lesson and that we kind of chose our lives and chose these lessons to grow, then you see it in a different way. And you're like, okay, you can start to let things happen in life without any control and see it like that and be like, okay, it's a learning thing. And, you know,
I was just thinking exactly what you just said, because you could get two children that are born into, say, you know, have a really difficult childhood, and one can go downhill or hang on to it and have a really difficult life and have all this trauma, and another one could be like, oh, it's the past, you know, and you know, you can have two children that go about it a different way. And I wonder if, because we've spoken about this thing of, you know, your soul chooses your life, your path, because of the lessons that soul needs to learn. Is that why some people cope better than others? Because that wasn't the lesson that they needed to learn. Whereas the lesson that, say, you or I needed to learn might be something that's made us hold on to that so that we can work through it. If that makes sense. I don't know. I'm just kind of, because I'm very much like you now. I really have got that in my head about this. So everything we've gone through is for a reason, and you've chosen that, which I think gives you a bit of like, makes you feel better about it, doesn't it? Because it's like, you chose this, like you're strong enough to cope with it. You chose it to learn that lesson. Whereas other people just are like, you hear awful stuff that people go through, but they've just, you know, they never, not saying that they're fine about it, but they've just dealt with it in a different way and don't let it hold them back and don't dwell on the past. And I just wonder if that's why we've all got these different lessons that we need to learn. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it is that. I think, and it's just all mindset. And once you know, like now knowing this, I feel like if something bad was to happen in my life, I would be completely different reaction.
Yeah.
Well, who knows really, because like, it's easy to say that, isn't it? But I think I just didn't have that kind of knowledge before.
Yeah.
Whereas I'd be like, oh, it's terrible. And like just really dwell on stuff and really, why me? Oh, I'm so unlucky. But it's like, well, no, like, I don't know. Yeah, it's obviously a lesson for something, as difficult as it is. So yeah, that was really amazing. And then obviously like the purging was the crying from that. And I also cried about what was before that, the speaking your authentic truth. And it's all makes so much sense when I'm in the realm, and it's like, yes, I will always do that. Then obviously it is the integration afterwards. You have to put all these things into practice, like I said, not retelling the story and all of that. Then there was a really funny, well, not really funny, but I just, looking back, I don't know why it makes me laugh, that I just remember like being on my tummy and like flicking my legs around. It was like almost like I was flying. And then I was in Ireland, and it said to me, it was like, it is an absolute tragedy that you don't know more about your heritage, like you're Irish. It kept saying, remember this, you're Irish, you need to look this up. And I do know that for my 30th birthday, my sister got me one of those blood test, those blood test things where you can track your heritage. And so I don't actually have any English DNA. I've got like, I think it was like 99.8% Irish and 1.2% Scandinavian. So I've got no English DNA, all Irish, which is really cool. But my grandparents were Irish, but like my mum was born in London. We only to Ireland for one day for her 60th. We like took her for an overnight stay. So we haven't grown up with that kind of like your Irish like mentality. No. But it was telling me like, you really need to look into it. But it was just funny just because I feel like I was like flying around. It makes sense in a minute. It was like an eagle suddenly, like in my vision, swooped down. And then there was this woman with what is that? With the bird glove.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And she just looked at me like this, but it was the clearest vision I've had in any of the ceremonies. It was like this grassy verge, and I knew I was in Ireland, but it was years and years and years and years ago. And she just looked at me like this, and she had like black hair, which is actually interesting because my nan it wasn't her, but my nan had black hair. But this was like years ago. Like, I don't even know, hundreds of years ago it looked like. This lady, I just knew it wasn't like from this time. And it just kept saying, Eagle woman, Ireland, you need to look this up. And it was just the way like the eagle was there, and I'd been like kind of felt like I was flying around. And so that was really interesting. And the next morning I woke up and was like, right, I need to look into this. And I was like searching Eagle woman and like putting in my granddad's name, but then and then also my now surname. So my husband is Scottish, but our surname is Irish, and he's got a lot of Irish family. So I was like putting in those surnames, but then I just got this message. It was like, you're putting in the wrong name. And then when I put in my grand's maiden name and then like Eagles, it came up with that surname and then Eagle Bar, which I don't think it was telling me to go to a bar, but it was like the weird thing about it was in exactly the small location, the small town that she was from.
So your nan?
Yeah. And it's like a real small area so I was like, well, why is that called Eagle Bar? So basically, yeah, my husband was like, absolutely do not message them.
Yeah.
But I messaged the bar. I was like, hi. I just wanted some kind of lead to know, like, why is this called the Eagle Bar? What I was trying to gather is like, what's the Eagles got to do with it? So I messaged him and was like, what do I put? And it was basically this like long message like, hi, I had this spiritual encounter.
Did you actually say that?
I had a psychic. I don't know. I made out like, oh, I had some psychic. I don't know. I went to a psychic or something, and they told me that they would have moved out of the area in the 1950s. And can you just tell me more? Like, why is this bar got their set? Why is it? Does that family still own the bars, and why the Eagles? And they obviously never got back to me because I sounded like a nutter. Or I either sound like a nutter, or like I was thinking maybe they think that I'm after like the family money or something, like trying to chase it. I don't know. I have no idea. But anyway, and it's obviously nothing to do with the bar. But I was just like, there must be something in that area. So at some point, I am gonna go and go to that location. Maybe just go to Ireland and see. Surely I'll be led on a.
Yeah, we should look into that 100%.
Should we go?
Yeah, let's go.
Remember me for your Facebook messages. I need to know more about the Eagles. I had a vision of a woman with an eagle.
Yeah, let's do it.
But yeah, that was interesting. It was basically saying you need to look into your heritage, and it was very important. But this woman's face, like looking at me, I can see it now. It was so clear. Then it told me that life is like the last message from the first ceremony, saying that this life is so beautiful and just enjoy it. It was very much like life is just an exciting experience. And basically the morning of the last ceremony, I'd also booked Disneyland. And it was like, they were saying, these spirit guides or whatever were like, we were just so happy when you booked it. I was like, yeah. But then they also said it's going to be, well, it kept saying it's going to be a record. It's going to, and I was taking from it, it was going to be really hot. It's going to be really hot when you go. It's going to be a record. It's going to be a record. And I never really got to the bottom of that because there was no record and it wasn't hot.
I wonder.
So I was expecting it to be this heat wave, and then I'd be able to back that up. So, God, this is going on a bit. Sorry, are you still with me? I feel like there was like so many lessons.
I love it.
Then I got a message about my feet. I need to take better care of my feet, which is probably quite true. Some of these are quite random. Like, so I feel like in the first one, it was very much guided, like lesson. Yeah. And then in this one, it was just a bit like, take care of your feet. Disneyland.
Feet and monkey.
Yeah. Then this interesting part, I was told I am a light worker. So basically I was feeling really sick and I had my hands like either side of the bucket being sick, and it was like no more turning away from it now. And I took my eye mask off and it was like, you are a light worker, stop turning away from it. And when I looked at my arms, I had like these like golden flecks almost like dancing off my arms, and I was like, oh, I'm a light worker, but I didn't even know what that was. But I looked up and like the main guy, facilitator guy, I was looking at him and I was like, I understand you. And everything made sense and it was really beautiful. And it was telling me to tell the healer lady. So when she came over, and I always get this thing where I'm like, I must tell them. But then my logical brain steps in a little bit. It's like, so I didn't say it out loud. And I didn't really know what it was. But again, the next day I woke up with a jolt. Like, I need to like research all this stuff because I was like, I didn't know what a light worker was at the time. And I was like, I'm actually going to Google it here and read it out because it actually made me a bit emotional because I was like, oh, it kind of explains my life. So it said a light worker is a spiritual term for a person who feels an innate call to help others heal the world and raise the global consciousness. Core traits, deep empathy, which I've always had. Like, I feel like I really feel everything and I feel other people's stuff. You're drawn to healing, sensitive to energy in like crowds, or harsh news drains you easily, which is very true. Like, I can't listen to anything terrible. Inner drive for truth, like seeking a deeper spiritual purpose, which is like my whole life. Even as a kid, I'm like just looking at the stars and just being like, what is this? Yeah, so there's lots of stuff on it, but I just thought that was interesting.
I love that. I love
that. Was really beautiful. That was kind of the first message like that I got.
Yeah, that's so nice to be told that.
But do you feel that too, though, right? Have you always been quite a sensitive person?
I've always been. I definitely pick up on people's emotions quite easily when nobody else might not, and I'll be like, there's something up with so and so. I can just pick up an energy, and I'm nearly always right with that. I seem to just not like you, not to the same extent.
I feel like that is what it is, though. But I've always found it. I remember when I was young, would find it quite overwhelming. Like, not just other people's emotions, but like my own, it would just be so strong. Like, I think I've just got used to it now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just feel everything. But when I read that, and I was like, I didn't know what a light worker was. That's another thing that I thought, oh, that's lovely, because it's just something that I'm like, well, I've not gone into that thinking, you know? So, yeah, that was really beautiful. And then it told me to snuggle down and told me that, so I've got my little blanket and it was almost like someone was over me and it was like, you're a soul that likes rest and it's okay to rest. And I was like, I need so much sleep to function normally. And I do just like quite a restful, snuggled life like that. To me, it's just
me too.
Lovely. I get so drained I love, going out and about, being social to an extent. It absolutely drains me, but it was basically telling me like, it's okay to rest and that we just are all running around doing too much. So that was nice. Then it told me to stop catastrophizing, especially around health. So I got a bit of this in the last one when I thought I was dying, that they should call an ambulance. Whereas in this one, my heart was beating quite fast and again was like, I'm having a heart attack. And then it was like, lay down and it was like, are you having a heart attack or are we working on your heart? And it just felt like I had this big glow of warmth around my heart and it was almost like it was being stitched up and I was like, oh yeah, maybe that's it. And then it was like you catastrophize everything, you're constantly worrying something's wrong with you. And then it said that it was like almost like my body was being scanned and it said we've done a body scan and it was like you are a healthy at the time 30 how old am I?
37.
37. So yeah, I was 36. 36. I was going to say 36 and I was like, oh, I think I'm a healthy 36-year-old woman. You can stop worrying about that now. So that was quite nice because I was like, oh, I do always think there's something wrong.
Gosh.
And then there was another part of the ceremony where it was around this time that a lady got up to go to the toilet and I kind of looked up, took my eye mask off and watched her go out. And then I heard there was obviously people talking like in the outside bit and not in the main room. And I thought that she was being given CPR. And I was like, that's it. She's a goner. There's a scuffle out there. They're having to give it CPR. God, this like massively catastrophized. This is a cult. Yeah, I did. I also got that in this one. Was it this one? I got that where I was like looking at them like they poisoned me. But again, that's just you getting over your ego or whatever. But yeah, the woman, I was like convinced and my heart was going a million miles an hour again. And I was looking out to the door being like, oh my God, how awful. But then she just calmly walked back in because she'd obviously just gone to the toilet. And then it was like, you're at it again, aren't you? And I was like, oh yeah. So it was like almost I had to think that to back up the lesson.
Yeah.
So there's only two more things. So I had a vision. It wasn't very nice. This is where it was kind of like holding me to account a little bit. And it showed me like trying to get out the house in the morning with my two girls. And it showed me very clearly like the vision of our old like porch bit. And I was like moaning on about get your shoes on, and it basically was saying like, it kind of made me feel almost their perspective and it wasn't nice at all. And I was like, right, I know it's frustrating trying to get out of the house, do the school run, but I need to be more organized because I'm kind of creating that situation because they're just kids and stuff. So that was horrible because it did make me feel a bit bad. And yeah, the final thing, which I thought was amazing, was that it was like kept telling me that we were meant to forget. It's like, you're meant to forget coming here. You were always going to forget. So it was kind of like this idea. Since before I'd got more information on it, but yeah, we come here and it just kept saying you're meant to forget, and in your dreams you're meant to forget. So it's almost like I think we go somewhere in our dreams now, and we're that mechanism where you kind of think you kind of remember some, but some things I think we go somewhere and are doing other things at night. That's basically the gist I got. But we're meant to forget. And we're meant to forget where we come from.
I saw a thing come up on like my news feed the other day, and it was saying that I'll have to find it. It was someone was talking about how scientists have. I mean, God, this is probably no nonsense, but it was saying something about scientists find proof that we go to another dimension in our dreams. I'll find it.
That's basically what I was told.
What? So the dreams that we're having, we're actually there.
It just kept saying you're meant to forget, and it was like, and dreams. So it was almost like you're meant to forget where we came from before here, and something about dreams. And it also said, I haven't written that. That's actually reminded me, I need to write this down because I like reading through these sometimes. And it also said like key phrases, I'm not going to remember now, come from that realm, come from wherever we're from. So it's like, you know, like phrases like the truth will set you free. Yep. And, you know, like things that everyone says all of the time. It's like, oh, well, you know, I can't think of anything else now. I can't think of the examples I was given, but things like that, like real bits of wisdom
around,
that are like in a
that
phrase.
sort of thing, like a karma thing, or
but more like what you put in, that kind of thing. And it was showing me lots of. I'll have to try and remember for the next one the examples I was given, but it was telling me that all comes from there. Yeah. It was almost just like wisdom, but like we put it in snippets, and it was like, yeah, you should listen to that because
I love that.
Yeah,
that sounds like that
was interesting.
Really, really good. Did you? I mean, not that you're going to like give them 5, ratings, but was the first one? Did you? What was your kind of? How did you feel after the second one compared to the first? Like, did you feel like you knew what to expect, so it was a better experience, or you got more out of the second one? Or
I don't know. It still wasn't what I thought. I don't think none of them have been what I thought was going to happen. Even after 6 now, none of them were what I thought. But and I keep saying it, but it does give you what you need. And even though I didn't get into things I wanted to get into necessarily, that was me trying to control the outcome and trying to be like, well, I need to get into this. And it's like, no, it knows you better than you know yourself, 1,000,000%. And I needed to learn that when I said, show me how to heal, I needed to learn first that actually, you're creating this, you're holding on to things, and you're stuck in a certain, way of thinking. So I had to learn that first before it did get into what I thought it was going to get into. I was really sick with the control bit, really, really, really sick. And afterwards, the main guy was like, whew, that was about an hour and a half you were over there. Like, I think it was like an hour and a half of me just like really being sick.
And it's like,
and just like slumped over like in a world of pain. It felt like it went on. Because time, again, isn't a thing there. And all I remember thinking is, I'm never going to get out of this. And that was another one where I said, I'm never doing this again. I'm never doing this again, because that part was so awful. But I think it had to be so awful for me to be able to get out of it what I get out of it now, because it needed to get that control out of me.
And considering that you don't eat hardly anything, still just cannot fathom where all this sick comes from, because there's just nothing in you. So
there's nothing
for an hour and a half. You just think, how? Wizardry.
But also, I don't think I was. So I remember thinking, this is really too much information if anyone doesn't know. But like the sick buckets you get, I definitely filled up over half, which is the most I've ever been sick. But other people like fill up actual full, like multiple bags of that stuff. And a lot of people fast, like for a couple of days before going into it. But I'm like, how have I filled this up? Not eating. It's really bizarre, isn't it? And it's not because it's not like sick either, is it?
No, it's weird. It's just so odd, isn't it? I can't figure that one out.
And the crying. There was a lot of crying in this one as well. But it's just, once it's out of you, it does feel good.
And it's not like when you're sick, it's not like having like a sick bug and you feel that like horrible, just different. It's just almost like a release. It's just a way of your body releasing. So you're sick. It's not, because I think I was worried that I was going to feel unwell all the way through. Like I was going to have like, you know, like when you got a sickness bug and you've got stomach pains and stuff, but it's not like that. You just have this urge to be sick.
The uncomfortable. Yeah.
When you are, it's just like,
because you've got to get whatever it is out.
Yeah. My goodness. That was a good one.
Yeah. So that was that one. Did you think, is that a good one? Hearing from, I don't know. It's just some funny, interesting.
Yeah, no, I love it.
This one.
And it's good that it's different from each one, because each one's interesting, and also you're getting different stuff out of each one. It's not like the same things. You know, I love it. So we've got number 3. No, you did it, honestly. I do not know how you did it. You are incredible. You really are.
But yeah, you came to number 5, so I'm excited I just feel like I'm like, but I'm excited for your one.
Yeah. No, I love it. And it's good for people to hear, because no one's experience is the same. You can't compare it, but even your experiences were different all the way out. You just can't call it. You just don't know what's going to come up. So you've got to kind of go in with no expectations, or because what you think you need to see or want to see, it might not be that at all. So no, I think it's really good. Really good to hear different experiences. So brilliant.
Thanks for listening. I need to go. It is so hot, and because I'm like on a main road, I don't know why I've got a long sleeve top on. I'm literally sweating out because I've had to keep the windows closed for the road. I'm sat here like,
it is awful.
I'm gonna go.
It's a little bit cooler tomorrow, and then the weekend is like 25, so we're good. And then next week it says it might rain on Monday. Yeah.
I think I'm just not used to it. I don't know why I've got a long sleeve top on. That was a mistake.
Yeah. Cool.
Anyway, until next week.
See you then.
Bye.